Chapter 4. Communication. Let's know. What is communication? Need for writing. Invention of telephone and telegraph. Printing press. Computers. Satellites. Mother, I think it will rain today. The clouds are so dark and thundering. Yes, it was forecasted by Met Department in the morning newspaper. That's great. We can always be prepared to face all kinds of weather in advance and safeguard ourselves. What is Met Department? How does it know about the weather conditions in advance? Met stands for Meteorological Department. It receives information and pictures from the satellites that help them to predict the weather condition on day-to-day basis. What is communication? Whenever there is an exchange of information or ideas by speaking, writing, drawing, body language, sign language or through some mechanical or electronic means, it is termed as communication. We cannot imagine a world without any kind of communication. Development of civilization has been closely linked with the progress in communication. In ancient times, there were no means of communication. People used pigeons, messengers or horseback, signals or drum beats to send their messages. Over the time, the forms and ideas of communication have evolved through continuous progress of technology. Written communication. The written communication has developed through 3 phases. The very first phase of written communication was through the use of pictographs. They were made on rocks and on the walls of the caves. They were not mobile. Gradually, they became simplified and understandable. Then it appeared on paper, papyrus, clay, wax, barks of trees, skins of animals, etc. Alphabets developed and communication became mobile. Finally, the information was transferred through radio and waves of electromagnetic radiations and electronic signals. Factopedia. Sailors use flags to convey messages to ships sailing around. This technique is called semaphore. We have learned that written communication is permanent as it is written and until it is destroyed, it stays. Spoken words are likely to be forgotten. Probably the need for writing arose due to the fact that oral or verbal communication become misleading or could be interpreted in different manners. The sender could convey the message to the receiver and it could be understood in the manner it was meant to be only through written communication. Invention of telephone. Telephones are the fastest means of audio or spoken communication. They are also the cheapest, the easiest and the most comfortable means. They connect people living far and near. We can talk to people next door or in a foreign country instantly. Telephone was invented by Alexander Graham Bell in 1876. The telephone services that are used to make calls within India are called the STD or the subscriber trunk dialing facility. To make international calls, we use the ISD or International Subscriber Dialing Service. We make calls using mobile phones which we can conveniently carry with us. We can also send written communication through SMS, that is, short messaging service facility available on all mobile phones. In rural areas, everyone does not have a telephone line at home. The government has set up PCOs, that is, public call offices in rural areas. People can pay a small amount and make calls from a PCO. Telegram. Telegram is a machine used to send messages using dots and dash code. The message sent through a telegraph machine is called a telegram. Samuel Morse invented telegraph and devised this method of sending messages in 1837. The sender would send messages through dot and dash and the receiver or operator receiving the message would translate the dot and dash message into words. Telegrams are no longer used in our country. Printing press. Almost 2000 years before the printing press was invented, the Chinese used blocks to print books. They would carve designs or the desired symbols on a block of wood, applying ink to the carved side and press it hard on the paper. The paper would get an impression of the symbol, but this method was very time consuming. It would take too long to print several copies of a book. In 1450, Johann Gutenberg invented the first usable printing machine. It is considered to be a milestone in the history of printing. It occurred to Gutenberg that instead of using wooden blocks, metal letters could be more useful for printing. The metal molds of letters were called types. He arranged movable molds of letters to form words, line, and a full page. This is called typesetting. A typeset page would be smeared with ink and pressed on a sheet of paper. The impression of text would be transferred to the paper. After printing one book, the metal molds would be dismantled and used to print another book. With this method, books were printed faster. Several copies of the book could be made easily. Since metal molds could be reused, it made printing of books cheaper. More and more people could now afford to buy and read books. Computers and Internet. The use of computers and the World Wide Web or the Internet has changed the way of communication. Computers help in running our business efficiently. They perform calculations in seconds that would otherwise take a much longer time. Computers are used as monitors in aircrafts, ships, and cars to find the geographical position, fuel usage, and engine temperature. There are two kinds of personal computers: desktop computer and laptop computers. Desktop computers are installed at homes and offices. They are fixed at one place. Laptop computers are portable and easy to handle. They can be carried and used anywhere and anytime. The Internet is a worldwide network of computers. Through it, we get new information on various topics and issues. Through it, we can send and receive electronic mails, that is emails, to and from any part of the world. Using a search engine on the Internet, we can find out information about anything. Satellites. A satellite revolves around a planet. It can be natural or man-made satellite. The man-made or the artificial satellites orbit Earth and help in predicting the weather and tracking hurricanes, understanding the space and other heavenly bodies. Some satellites are used mainly for communication, such as beaming TV signals and phone calls around the world. Factopedia. A group of more than 20 satellites make up the Global Positioning System or GPS, which helps in finding out the exact location of a place. Before satellites, TV signals didn't reach far. They would trail off into space instead of following the Earth's curve as TV signals travel in straight lines. Setting of telephone wires over long distances or underwater was difficult and very expensive. With satellites, these TV signals and phone calls are sent upward to a satellite. Instantly, these signals are sent back in different locations on the Earth. Satellites enable us to watch live shows and other programs on television. This is possible because of communication satellites. These satellites receive signals from the television station on the Earth. The station on the Earth receives these signals and transmits them further to the television sets in the form of pictures. Without these communication satellites, it would not have been possible to view live programs or matches being held across the world. Time to recall. Communication is exchange of information, ideas by speaking, drawing, body language, etc. In earlier times, messages were sent through pigeons, messengers on horsebacks, drum beats, etc. Written communication is permanent. Telephones are the fastest, cheapest, and easiest means of communication. Telegraph machine sends messages using dots and dash code. Printing press was invented by Johann Gutenberg in 1450. Computers are used to find geographical position, fuel usage and engine temperature. Search engine helps to find any information on internet. Satellites help us watching live programs held anywhere in the world. New words: communication, exchange of information or ideas; pictograph, messages depicted through pictures; telegraph, machine that sends message through dot and dash code; types, metal molds of letters; search engine, a software system to search for information on World Wide Web; communication satellite, satellite that helps in communication.